secrets lay sleeping. Oh, yeah. Squatch-D TV, they're on the case. Steve and Chris, no mystery they can't face. Busting hoaxes, exposing lies. They're the champs of the Bigfoot mystery. Bringing truth, science, and clarity. Squatch-D TV, they're the real deal. Uncovering the truth, it's time to reveal. Squatch-D TV, take us on your quest. Find the legend, put the rumors to rest. Late at night, shadows creeping. Deep in the woods, secrets lay sleeping. Oh yeah. Squatch-D TV, they're on the case. Steve and Chris, no mystery they can't face. Busting hoaxes, exposing lies. They're the champs of the Bigfoot mystery. Bringing truth, science, and clarity. Squatch-D TV, they're the real deal. Uncovering the truth, it's time to reveal.
Welcome to Squatch-D TV, where the truth is first before all else. Join your hosts, veteran investigator, TV personality, and author Steve Coles, and from the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Project and the Kentucky Fried Fixes channel, Chris Bennett. Sit back and prepare to take yourself on a journey with the longest-running Bigfoot podcast, Squatch-D TV. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D TV for today's date, August 23rd, 2024. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective Steve Coles, along with my co-host, Mr. Chris Bennett. How are you, sir?
Steve, I did make it.
You did.
It was a long, slow day, and then at the end of the day, this evening, everything got fast for some reason.
Sure did.
But yeah, everything's been going good here. How about you? You been doing all right?
We are surviving.
Good.
Beautiful day here today in New York State. Sunny, in the mid 70s. Right now it's down. Yeah. Right now it's down to 62 degrees.
Oh,
nice
wow.
Cool evening.
Oh, I love to do that. Sleep with the window open is what I love to do when it gets down to temperature.
Yeah,
love that.
Probably going to drop down to like 58 tonight.
Yeah.
So, we got a bunch of folks, and we want to welcome all the new subscribers to the show tonight.
Yeah, I know. The chat is hopping. Yeah,
sure is. But welcome to all the new folks.
Wow, yeah. Good to see you guys.
Pull up another chair, kick your feet up, get your favorite beverage, and listen to the truth in Bigfoot, because we are all about the truth here. And I'm going to say the last, this started Wednesday, probably mid-afternoon for me. And it has gone almost nonstop until now, with the exception of some time to go to sleep.
Yep.
And phone calls. So we made some phone calls on Wednesday, and we kind of centered in and zeroed in on who we believed was part of it. And we confirmed that. We're still not going to release it because they wish to remain anonymous right now, but we did confirm that we had the right gaggle. And on Thursday morning, this phone here it's ringing so much. It's, it's jumping off the table.
Right.
So I did manage to speak to, I did liaison with one of the team members a little bit. Now they're under NDA. So what was told to me I may have a little more information than I can give out because I respect that person. I respect the NDA. I'm going to respect the integrity of what they're doing.
Right.
That's only the fair thing to do.
That's right. That's right.
But I have enough information to give us a pretty good update tonight. And I will say this, there is some drama going on. This has nothing to do with any of the drama. We're simply here tonight to report the news and to report like Wednesday night. And some people took it personal for whatever reason. Like, oh, listen, we're just reporting what we heard. There was the post, and we all know the post that's right here that came out on Wednesday. And we did a show on that saying, well, this is interesting. This is what we've learned. And, what I said was that night, I was 99% sure it was this particular group.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, I am now 100% positive it's this group. They were out in the PNW through the 20th. So upon, them coming out of wherever their area, some phone calls were made, some things were said, and it led to that Facebook post by Ronnie LeBlanc on Wednesday late afternoon.
And everybody keep in mind, for this, we've got our media hats on, and we are reporting the story as it breaks. So that's all we can do.
Right. Because this is not this is an investigative reporting piece. We're investigating the claim and we're reporting to the public what this may or may not be.
Right.
So, the internet blew up. It went crazy, and it did seem like with that post and the hashtags that, oh, wow, they got some really good film. So so on Thursday morning, I get a phone call from one of the people there. He read the post because his phone was blowing up when he got back. And he's like, I don't understand this. He was like, I'm not sure what video was collected, but I didn't hear about any spectacular video. I heard there may have been some video, but a lot had to be looked at and analyzed because they had a lot of static cameras or whatever. But whatever the case, there was video that had to be looked at. So he goes, I'm not sure, but let me make some phone calls. Let me find out. And maybe about that was Thursday morning and mid morning, I should say. And then eventually, yesterday evening, I get a phone call, and he's still digging. And this morning, I get yet another phone call after we've already scheduled the show. Now, mind you.
Yeah.
We've already changed it. Again, another phone call about a couple hours after scheduling the show. And what I found out is that, and this is as far as what I can say, and what I was told, because they're under NDAs as to what they're filming. They're filming a documentary. That much I'll say. What he told me was that they did collect some likely thermal footage. Let me say that. He couldn't confirm whether it was thermal or not. So you take that for what it's worth. If somebody says, hey, was it a dollar bill? Well, I cannot confirm or deny that. Well, for what it's worth. So we have here the, some thermal footage that was taken. Apparently there was some experiences and some other things that were captured perhaps on other devices, some other evidence that was discovered, and again, their own experiences. So is it to the level, I just want to take everybody's expectations that if they think this is going to be something, the video is going to be groundbreaking and prove Sasquatch exists, I doubt it at this point. I do not believe it will. But from what I understand, if you put all the information together, it's going to be a compelling video. So that's what I've been told. So the public will have to decide going forward on that.
Yeah. Well, I'll be glad when the guys, I know they've got the NDA going on and everything, and
Right.
I'll be glad when the team decides to come forward and start sharing some information that is.
Right.
Let's see some video.
Now, mind you, you know, um, listen, I have been doing this for a number of years, and I did reach out to Ronnie LeBlanc this morning, but after I got the phone call back from my contact within the team, there was no need to continue on with this with Ronnie, because okay, now I understand that there was some excitement there, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely. There was excitement. Yeah.
Right. Because apparently the team was very excited about,
Right.
hey, we had a really good time, and this is my own take on it, not what they told me. So,
Yeah.
And how many times that, like when we came back from the mountain, but good old mountain back in last September after the Whitehall Sasquatch Festival with that whoop call, we were like, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
we got something. Yes.
Yeah.
So you get that pump up. Again, I'm very reserved on what I put out there. And sometimes like, would it be possible if I emailed, say, my buddy, well, we'll make a phony buddy of my buddy Mario. And then Mario gets on there. Hey, congratulations to this team. They got some great super audio, and hashtag, people are going to say, oh, they must have some really good vocals. Oh, this could be the Sierra Sounds, blah, 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 blah. And then the internet scuttlebutt just chimes away. So that is the update. That's what we know about that. And what happened was when that post came out, everybody got in their minds. Everybody's thinking our standard, the Patterson Gimlin film.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, again, let's, it's going to come out, sometime next year, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, I knew to curb my expectations anyway. Because if somebody mentions the Patterson Gimlin film, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, hold on, time. Yeah. Nobody in that post mentioned the Patterson Gimlin.
Right.
But that's our standard. That's our standard.
Exactly.
That's our standard. So, when you start hearing, all this positive stuff, and you think, oh, this is going to be better than the Patterson Gimlin film. And it not only did we kind of go to that, but even one of the researchers that came back on, but then the more he thought about it, the more he got working with it, the more they kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be completely honest. They never in that post did it say anything about the PG film.
Right.
It said that it, constantly now, like I said, phone conversations and stuff like that. That's why I'm very tight-lipped when I'm out in the field, and I downplay everything. If I get something, I'm not going to call everybody unless I know it's really, like when we got the audio last year, we didn't, I made a few phone calls, but I knew those, I trusted those people. They weren't going to put it on blast, and they didn't.
Right.
Sometimes that happens. Somebody gets so excited because they're such, I got to tell everybody because they're still remote. They don't have access to their media. Let me tell everybody. And that's how these things happen sometimes. Yeah.
Well, if it shows up on social media, we're going to talk about it. Yeah. We got to talk about it because there's not been any breaking news for a while with the Bigfoot community. So any news is good news as far as I'm concerned.
And it was blowing up Facebook.
If they had a legitimate encounter and they've got some evidence that would go along with that encounter, that's great news for me. It doesn't have to be some kind of super sharp, clearer video.
And how did Ronnie LeBlanc know? Well, he knew the researchers that were out there. That's how he did, and they ended up calling him.
Yeah. And when you have an encounter, there's going to be some excitement. There'll be some excitement.
Kaiju Ninja 1985, but you got to wait a few months. Look, there's a vetting process, but a few months.
Yeah.
Yes. Depending on the scope of the evidence. The Vermont trail cam photo I had for 5 months before we released it, because what did I have to do? I had to do recreation photos.
Right.
It was out of season.
And have an expert look at the photograph, analyze the shadows.
I sent it off to the late Dr. Bruce Maccabee, who analyzed the picture from the distance. So there's a lot of moving parts. Then I had to go back again, take measurements, do some reference video of where it was standing, pictures all around. Then I had to do comparison pictures at night because with the same camera, because I wanted everything to be authentic. Okay, let's use the same camera, same place. Let's kind of do a picture here, do a picture here, do a picture here to see the right.
I think when Finding Bigfoot investigated that, they also did a comparison picture, I think, with Bobo.
And Steve Streifert says, Ronnie needed some attention since he's not on TV anymore. Could be. But, that's not for me to say. I mean, yeah.
Don't know.
Well, the post was a little exaggerated, but, excitement can do that to you too.
That's it. That's what I think. It's probably excitement.
I know psychology more than anything. It's one of my strong points. And I know how over the years, 25 years of doing this, I've seen some people make some really excited posts that had to be, kind of reined back a little bit. Well, I don't know. Right. And I agree, Alex, that, it was again, zealousness. Sometimes that happens with people. I like I said,
that's still unknown, Kaiju Ninja. It's still
right. Don't know.
NDA.
No. Like I said, the way I was told was, they cannot deny or confirm that it was thermal imaging. But usually when you don't deny something,
Well, right. If it was nighttime, especially,
right.
What are they going to have?
I don't know what type of equipment was used.
Yeah.
My job was, number one, they couldn't speak much because of the NDA in place.
Right.
So the information I got is limited. And if I got more, I'm reluctant to say, but I did not get information as far as to what kind of equipment was used, what was actually filmed, what night it was, or what time of day it was, or what they exactly filmed. All I know was there was some film or some footage. I say film because I'm old school. It's no longer film. We don't use film anymore. Very good, Stephen. I hope so. Yeah,
that's good.
Exactly. And here's the point I'm making is that we tend to want to criticize the team that's out there. The team did nothing. The team just did their thing. They told them about it, and that's the extent of their mistake. Was they told, Ronnie who posted it. Now, is that even a mistake? They didn't tell him to post that because, like I said, they're keeping everything. They are filming a documentary, and they have been for a while. And Larry, so they have been under a NDA for a while, and even from my understanding, even Ronnie was under an NDA. So, so
there's ways, if you're subject to NDA, you're not going to be able to give out location details.
And again, like I'm not supporting or bashing anything in this point. We're simply reporting on what we can find out.
Right.
No, not really. At all. Matt says NDA itself feels fishy. No, not really.
No.
If you've worked with television, if you've worked with any documentary crews, at the onset, part of your contract is an NDA that you're not going to disclose the findings of this.
Right.
Very, very common.
They want everybody to watch the show.
Right. In fact, we'll get to your comment in a second, Bud. Can we start? Let's start starring some of these. Like, let's star Bud.
Okay.
And we'll get to that. No. And no, the whole thing is tonight, Matt, is to tell people let's see what they got. Let's be have a little inkling of enthusiasm because let's face it, this team has nothing to do with the announcement or that Facebook post. They have nothing to do with it. So regardless of this posting or not, I probably would have, because I'm a documentary buff anyway. I probably would have gotten, because I know at least one of them involved, and I would love to take a look at it and see what it is, because that's. But
I love a good Bigfoot documentary. As long as Bigfoot's not falling in love with you,
right. But at the beginning of any process, you sign NDAs. It's like when I'm filming for The Proof Is Out There. I filmed for The Proof Is Out There. Let me put it to you that way. I'm going to be on a few episodes coming up for this new season. And I'm not going to, number one, I reviewed, I think, 4 cases. And I'm not going to tell you folks what the 4 cases are. I'm not going to post anything about it online about it. Who knows? I may already have, and that's why they came to me. So you got to understand that I won't talk about what is filmed. The same thing when we did our Monster Quest. We didn't make, hey, we had a great Monster Quest. We did this, we did that, we did this. You don't do that. That's against, in fact, when
professional courtesy too,
When I went out filming for when I was very young at this, my second big project, The Truth Behind the Loch Ness Monster, when Nat Geo was sending me out to Scotland to lead that team, I made a little post about it, and next thing you know, I ended up getting an email. Hey, take that post down. Yeah, you're under an NDA. We don't want you posting anything about us filming or anything.
Well, yeah, okay. That was National Geographic too. So,
So let's get to some of the comments. Bud O'Malley, maybe they're throwing a wet towel. No, I don't think so. You got to understand that if this was done with one phone call with one the researcher that called me initially because he knew me, that would continue. That wouldn't have continued. That would have been one phone call. Hey, this is what's going on. Blah 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 blah. No, it wasn't like that. It was, hey, I'll let me find out what's going on, and then I get it. Obviously, throwing a wet towel on things to calm everything down. No, because the whole thing. If you have a documentary and you got good footage, this would be let's keep it going.
Right.
But instead, the reaction is completely opposite. The motivation, if you do have a good film, the motivation would be, okay, excellent, and we're starting to get steam on this already, right. And we haven't finished filming the documentary yet.
Yeah,
but
that could be like a promotion thing. They want people standing in line to see it because they've got this footage.
But the good thing is that. And at least it's showing me some honesty here too. Let's not face that too, because if the team in the field wanted to play this up or make this really a big promotion, they would have said, "Yeah, we got some great film. Oh yeah, absolutely, right." But instead, what they said was, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." So you got to understand that. So kudos to them for coming back and being honest. About that, and that's that's good, because that post was made. I listen. I know. Steve, you asked, why did he say this? I have no idea. I'm not in his head. Why certain things are said, I don't know. Excitement, maybe. I don't know. That's a guess, and that's not an educated guess either, because, like I said, I'm not a psychic, nor do I claim to be. Oh, hang on. Tom Biscardi. Who is the guy who bought 75 cases of peach Snapple? See? Anyway.
You did. Well, that
I'm not
Carmack the Great or something. Johnny Carson did that.
Carmack the Great. That's right.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm browsing through the chat, guys, and see if I missed any questions or comments.
Right. So I
know there's a lot of comments.
Yeah, I can't explain what's going on in his mind. I will give, like I said, they were very quick, since we were the outlet to do that. They were very quick to rectify this whole situation, to bring it down a notch and say, hey, listen, whoa, hey, this is not PG film stuff. And and I don't mean rated PG. I mean Patterson Gimlin film stuff. This is and it's an accumulation of evidence that kind of makes it compelling, and that's it. So what it is, I don't know. How it is, I don't know. It's going to be another one. It's going to be another one of those documentaries where you're just going to, if you really want to, you can watch it. Like I said, I'm not, everybody thinks, oh, you're promoting. I'm not promoting anything. I haven't even told you who the team is or what the documentary is. No. So, sounds too good to be true. Yes, Wednesday night it did. Now it sounds a little more, what I'm hearing now sounds a little more realistic.
Yeah.
That, hey, listen, there was some video, there was some video, which may or may not be thermal. There was some cumulative evidence and experiences, or there was some other evidence and some experiences, and cumulatively they're a compelling thing, and that's the kind of extent of it.
That's the kind of stuff that I want to watch when I see the documentary.
Well, yeah,
it's cool. They talk about sightings and they do reenactments, and those are kind of cool. Where they got some guy in a fake Bigfoot suit, those are kind of cool.
But that's not what they're doing.
You can see actual
again,
footage.
I don't know what I like I said, I have no knowledge of what they're doing. They're all under NDAs. I don't know what this documentary, number one, is truly about. I don't know. All I know is that they went out in the Pacific Northwest and all this broke on Wednesday. And that's all we know as far as the structure of the documentary, any of that. All we can say right now is what we know. And what we know is that, yes, there was apparently some video shot, but let's lower that expectation that it's going to be a great discovery, or it's going to prove that Sasquatch exists in North America, or period anywhere. So that's the reason for coming on and giving everybody that update. We updated you Wednesday night with what was said because it was taking over like fervor. We gave our initial impressions, and sure enough, my again, doing this as long as I have, and connections I have, my hunch was correct, and I'm glad it was. And that was the other point too, is that the one researcher who came in said, well, first, let me make sure that he's talking about our group.
Right.
Because this sounds, it sounded off to him, but again, Stephen, I understand. Some people say, well, he did it, and not the team, but Ronnie. Oh, Ronnie did it for attention. Ronnie did it for this. Ronnie did it for that. Who the hell knows? Maybe he was excited for his friends out there in the field and got a little overexcited and got, diarrhea of the keyboard, as I call it, which I'm very well known for. As I write my long post in the community page of this.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if it's new news on the Bigfoot community, in the Bigfoot community, it's good news. And
right.
I like
and just as a sidebar too, for people who notice every once in a while, I write extremely long posts on the community page of this channel, is because those long posts kind of replace my blog that I used to do, a blog. And I was blogging from 2006 all the way till about 2019.
I really did want to read what that guy wrote, but as you pointed out, he had started naming names, and we can't do that. Yeah, right.
That's and I'm just trying to be respectful to the team
and
that's
responsible.
Out there.
Yes,
and I know there's probably one or two people in the chat that know who's out there.
Yes, I'm
but
sure.
I just ask we be respectful and not right. Well, no, hold on. The fact that this was announced, no, it was not announced by Ronnie. You got to understand, there's a difference when there is an official announcement or somebody just, unfortunately, just running their mouth and putting up a post. And that's what the case was. Nobody on that team knew he had done that.
Right.
So.
Social media. That's
social media. Yep. And it happens, and say la vie, we live and learn sometimes, and hopefully.
I rarely do social media, so if any of you guys add me on Facebook as a friend or something, just don't be surprised if it takes about 3 or 4 weeks for me to ever respond, because I usually sign in about once a month.
Right.
It's every other month.
Yep. Lost Cryptids Conservatory. Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. It was
Well, I'm not going to
overhyped.
say that.
Well, the actual what actually was filmed was overhyped. I mean, let's be honest. That post the way it reads, and hey, you know what? Mistakes happen. People type things that are silly. You know, some people. You know, I can't say whether or not it was on purpose or not. Can't. It is what it is. You know, and not to mention, then what happens is you type something like that, and then the internet takes off.
Yeah.
And that's what would happen. So, as far as you know,
Sometimes
I
you
can
can start
only
a snowball rolling at the top of the hill, and then by the
listen.
time it gets halfway down, it's really
there are
too late.
certain things an investigator can find out.
Yeah.
Right? Do you ever wonder why cases get dropped or do not get pursued? A lot of times, is because of things like that. For example, you know, Steven says, "Well, you know, I think he purposely did it to get attention." Well, that may be true. Then again, it may not be. We really will never know because there's no way of proving that. And that's what I deal with things you can prove. And that's why when we do this show, I can tell you with confidence exactly, you know, kind of understanding that we ran the story and they came to me as soon as they got back saying, what the bleep, right? And they didn't even understand the extent of that. And I was, you know, and I was reading them some because they hadn't yet to read everything that was involved in it. And then they went into the process. And guess what? They followed through. They called back not once, but twice more.
Yeah.
And with more information, more information.
That's correct. And any responsible team would, you know. So
Right.
these guys they're on the ball.
They're
You gotta give
acting
them that.
responsibly. Yep.
Yeah.
They're acting responsibly with something that got, for all intents and purposes, like I said, Ronnie's under an NDA too. So this wasn't necessarily an announcement. It was more of a leak because they weren't planning on making any announcements. You know, this was a leak, and you know that's what you would call in government work a leak. Somebody posted something about something that had happened, and of course, them not being there, things get misconstrued and things get contorted, and that's what happens. I'm Kaiju. I'm not an attorney, and I don't have the NDA in front of me, so I have no idea. I have no idea. And I was told Ronnie was under the NDA. I wasn't told that he you know, I didn't have any, I didn't see any evidence of that, but this is what I'm being told. So again, my job here is to talk about the veracity of that film. It came out on Wednesday. Everybody was talking about it. We did a show on it real quick that we have an idea who the team was, where it was, basically, and all that. Now we're just updating, saying, wait a minute, let's lower those expectations. This is the actual story of it because we actually talked with the research team, or one of the members of the research team who was kind of coordinating everything.
Right.
As far as talking to people and getting me the answers I was asking. So.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, I'm glad there's going to be a documentary coming out sometime.
Okay, listen.
Have,
all right, let's.
Oh.
Okay, so let's understand something. And again, this may be because people just don't know the TV industry. Let me give you a great example. The proof is out there. Now, on a particular show, they may have an investigator talk about a Bigfoot sighting, say in Minnesota. Right? Well, I'm under the same NDA for that show that he's under. Right? Yeah. I can still talk about that episode because I had nothing to do with it, but I'm still under the NDA. In this case, because it's a documentary, it's a little different. But if I learned what that researcher had said about the Bigfoot in Minnesota, and I went and I said, hey, yeah, you know, I'm I just heard that so-and-so said that Bigfoot in Minnesota was fake, right? And that was part of that doc. I would be in violation of the NDA, even though I had nothing to do with that. You understand? What he is likely part of some element of the documentary, which the NDA covers the entire thing. And again, it's for a documentary. When you sign an NDA, you don't sign it for per segment.
Yeah.
You sign it for the entire show. So, it's just like when I did my Monster Quest, I signed the dotted line. There's an NDA involved and everything like that. Right? There's Dr. John, there's the polygraph guy giving the test. I wasn't there. But when it was over with, guess what? I got a phone call from Bill Brand saying, hey, yep, they all passed the polygraph test. Now, did I get on my computer and say, hey, guess what? All our witnesses passed the polygraph test on Monster Quest. Guess what? It would have happened. I would have been in violation of the NDA, even though I wasn't there and I had nothing to do with it. Right? Because I'm in another segment of the same program.
Right.
So that, I mean, you just got to put your legal caps on, folks. It's not rocket science. Yeah, I mean, perhaps he's involved in analysis. Perhaps he's just an interview. Even if I sit there, it doesn't matter what part you're involved in. If I'm sitting there going, hi, welcome to the Bigfoot documentary, and I'm part of that show and I sign the NDA, that means I can't talk about any of it. Any of it.
Until it comes out, anyway.
Until it comes out, correct. Right. And that's why after some of these documentaries, especially like the Truth Behind the Loch Ness Monster, that was an episode where hello, Patrick. When I did Truth Behind the Loch Ness Monster, that was an episode where they actually cut the guy who failed the Bigfoot polygraph test. And I never said anything about that until a year later. He tried hoaxing using a picture he took of the shoot where they used the prop to recreate something. And I was like, right. And then I called him out and I actually showed pictures I sent that off to some folks over in the UK, including one guy in the newspaper, saying, hey, listen, you want this debunked? Here it is. Here's my pictures, and there's the same prop.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Sorry, Tracker, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, sorry, we can't talk about it. Chris is under an NDA under Squatch-D.
Can't talk about that. I can't talk about Deadpool.
Yeah. Now, Chris cannot also talk about my eating habits too. That's under guy. But in reality, that's if you're part of any part of a particular film, you sign an NDA. It means the entire film. Doesn't matter if you were there or not.
Yeah,
it's still an NDA. So. What else? There's a good question. What can we get Chris Bennett to sign an NDA for?
I don't need one. I hardly ever talk about anything.
Okay, and there you go too. And now the post has been removed from both Facebook and X. There you go. There you go. So things have been course corrected.
That's interesting.
Well, no, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And like I said,
overhype it. If they do have something, don't want to overhype it.
Right.
But, just the fact knowing that there may be something out there in an upcoming documentary, I'm excited for it. And I don't care what it is. It don't have to be perfect. Just some.
Kevin makes a great point too. It's funny how the rumor of great achievement leads to some people to associate themselves with it, and others to throw cold water from it from afar before anybody knows anything. Yeah. Professor Harder, I could not have said that better.
Yeah.
And it's true because you see people poo-pooing it, and other people, It's like you don't even know.
Right.
I mean, and I'll give you another great example. Believe the evidence or not, it's like, a long time ago. Good God, over 20 years ago now. In 2003, I was investigating this report when I was, when my first stint with the BFRO. And this guy had gotten this film while he was at this music festival. And everybody was out over on the other side of the lake at the music festival. And he had this incredible story of how he filmed something going up into a tree and moving around and yada, yada, yada. And there was already an investigator on this. But the investigator didn't move on it, so he reported it again. And when I cross-checked it, it came back to the previous report. So I called up the investigator, who is from New York City, actually really closer to the guy than I was. And I said, can you tell me something? Do you mind if I take this over? He goes, no, go ahead. I talked to him, yada, yada, yada. I go, well, did you ever see the film? He was like, no. Wait, you're judging this without seeing the evidence.
Right.
And the guy was
before the horse.
Okay. And the guy was an attorney. So that's what I'm thinking. I didn't say it. I'm like, okay, you mind if I take over? Yeah, no problem. Hi, can I get the copy of the film? Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
Week and a half later, get the film. That's the New York Baby video, aka the Pridgeon video.
Which was a good one. I liked it.
It's worth looking at.
Yeah. Started out
Outback Orchard. And just so folks know, because we're doing all this breaking news stuff, we will get back to our regular roll calls on Sunday night. I know we didn't do a roll call this week. We got a little bit of a late start tonight. Chris had hay fever, so to speak. And, so I think we got on like at 3 after 9 or 5 after 9. We're still going to go to 10 o'clock, but so that's the scoop. And what can I say? I mean, there's not much we can do, except, wait and see. And that's the par for the course. I mean, we told you Wednesday night, I think it was Grasshopper out there in chat who came up with the Erickson Project syndrome. And that was a great line. I love it. I'm stealing that one too, Grass. And I'm still positive about Bigfoot research. I don't care. It is what it is, and it is. We've seen this time and time again. I've lived through this for 25 plus years. We move on, we roll on, wait for the next big thing. This is interesting.
Oh, Steve, your internet is cutting out, or mine is, one or the other.
I'm pretty steady right now.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute.
Uh-oh, you're freezing up on me, buddy.
Chris, stay there. I'm going to come back in for a second.
Okay. All right.
We're going to lose the share screen for a minute.
Okay.
I don't know
Maybe
why.
A bandwidth issue, something going on. Yeah.
All right, we're okay now.
I'm not
I don't
talking
know
about the Erickson Project.
Yeah. I don't know why that happens necessarily, because I'm hardwired. I'm not on Wi-Fi. Yeah. I'm hardwired. Yeah. So I'm going to have a little.
It must be a bandwidth issue. Something really loads up on it or something.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Let me try one thing here. All right. Yeah, I have no idea why that would even be doing that.
Kaiju Ninjas. Are we sure Biscardi isn't involved? He's been really quiet for several years now.
Well, he's got to be in his 70s now. So
maybe,
of course,
maybe he's retired. Maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, when you get 7 figures for your LLC, Bigfoot and Project Investments.
Yes, Brian. Big engines too. Anything
No,
doozy.
we're good now. The internet's good because usually with StreamYard, what happens is when my internet starts to go and you're like, I look up and it'll give me a little warning sign. And I love it because it gives like a little Wi-Fi. It's like, well, it ticks me off because I'm not on Wi-Fi. But we seem to be good now, so we'll be all right. And that happens once in a blue moon.
Walter remembers the cowbells. Yeah, you remember.
We need more cowbell. Hang on.
Oh no! Don't do that. No. I thought you had one. I was like, oh no. Yeah.
How's that for some cowbell?
Would never want to imitate anything that he's ever done.
And if anybody's ever seen that one with what's his name, Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken and Chris Kattan, and Horatio Sands doing they were playing the Blue Oyster Cult with what was the name of that song?
Don't Fear the Reaper or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that was great. But yeah. So we got about 9 more minutes till we get out of here, Chris. But yeah, so our whole goal is that, again, let's repeat for those who came in late that something was filmed, but it's nothing spectacular that everybody thought it was going to be or was proposing it would be. The post is since now we're just learning from Alex, and the funny thing is that I looked like an hour and a half ago, a couple hours ago, and it was still up. Now it's down. That's good news.
Yeah.
That what it is they're clamping down on unnecessary speculation, which is fine.
Right. Yeah. That's the
well, no, hold on, Kaiju Ninja. When I say nothing spectacular, that's my own descriptors there. That's my own descriptors. And I think we've already covered that too, is that, yeah, I think it was a very zealous, call for what it is. It was an overzealous thing. Either, some people say it was intentional. Some people say it was probably maybe excitement, hey, my buddy's just got all this. I mean, that's awesome.
Hey, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for them. I really am.
I mean, anytime anybody goes out in the field and has some legitimate good experiences, get some stuff on film, that's a good day.
That's right.
It's better than sitting there in the wood. I mean, let's face it, a bad day squatching is a good day anyway. But you're out in nature, you're out in the woods, I mean, everybody has their opinions on it. Our job is to report the news in this particular case.
Yeah, and I found out you can have sightings. You can have sightings and then go 14 years without another one.
Right. I'm not going to speculate on where somebody's head's at necessarily. Yeah. Like I said, I can only speculate on stuff I have proof for. And all I can say is, yes, there was a post that was made that was out of line a little bit with what had actually happened. So we can bring our expectations down. And when I mean, Kaiju honed in on that word spectacular, it wasn't anything Patterson-Gimlin filmish. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by spectacular.
That's going to be the standard.
When you look at the PG film, that is a spectacular piece of footage now.
Real or not,
followed by the Freeman film. That was the next best film we've ever gotten out of a lot of things. So take it for what you will, whether you believe it or not. It's all opinion now. Anyway,
it's cool video. Whether you believe.
Let's face it, we can't prove anything about the Patterson-Gimlin film, for or against. As hard as we try, that is solid concrete in like the smoking gun. We can't do it with the Freeman film. Again, we can't come up with the smoking gun whether it's real or fake. So it is what it is. That's reality, and that's just reality. And I live in reality. That's why I don't say Bigfoot comes off a spaceship or cloaks to other places or blinks out or has
the Patterson-Gimlin film
uses quantum physics that uses quantum physics to shoog you over to wherever. So
the Patterson-Gimlin film has survived all the debate since immediately since it was released. And the debate still continues today. and you will have people that say, "Oh, it's obviously a suit," but nobody has recreated that. Even the documentary that they aimed to create. There's one on the BBC, and their recreation was laughable. But they were like patting themselves on the back. Oh, we did it! We did it! No, they didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, they didn't even get close. And then Bob, the guy that claimed he was Bigfoot. Hieronymus, yeah. He did the recreation with Philip.
Well, you want to see a book written from a guy who is not an investigator. He may have been a quote unquote journalist, but not an investigator. That how can you match Philip Morris with Bob Hieronymus? Neither one has evidence that they were ever involved in it. Right. One describes one suit, one describes another suit.
Yeah.
And
one of them changed his story to match the other guy's story.
Right. And then another guy changed the story. First said, I didn't show it to anybody except my mom and whoever his relative was at home. And then he changes that later on to, well, I showed everybody at the bar. Just go in there and ask him. If again, as an investigator, like these stories don't match Philip Morris and Hieronymus. So why are you putting together? Because you have an agenda, because you have a book to sell. That's why. And that's the way I feel about that. I mean, so anyway.
No, I would never use a flintlock.
Well, by the way, there was a post about the show we did about the Ketchum study last week. And, you're talking about Professor Harder and Haskell Hart, maybe us too. You sound like bitter old men. And then the next comment by him was, what did he say? You started making fun of her right away. No, we didn't. No. He goes, you guys have big egos. What? We were just showing.
What is ego?
So my response was that, well, you just proved my point. I'm actually surprised it took you guys so long to show up. Another yes man, right? And no way, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You sit there and try to say you've proven your point because we made fun of her right away, which we did not. But yet you provide no information or fact that disputes anything that was said during the course of the show, except what? Name call. Point proven. So that's why I let that Jack Wagons post stay because I said, yep, see, proved our point right there. So folks, if you're in the comment section, if you go to that video and look at that comment, make sure you give them a thumbs down on their comment.
Well,
or give them a thumbs up. I don't give a poop. Anyway,
but that's definitely an odd take on our commentary about the Melba Ketchum stuff because we have no personal vendetta against Melba Ketchum or anything like that. Nothing personal whatsoever. Just we're talking about her evidence. And
I don't have I don't have a vendetta against her. I have a vendetta against her evidence or study. It's horrible and it provides a lot of
misinformation,
and that's something we don't stand for. But anyway, again, hello to all the new subscribers. Thanks for being here. And again, I'm sorry about some of the disappointing news to this, but at least there's some hope in the fact that there was something collected there that you may or may not want to watch. It's all your choice. Like I say, you guys are the court of public of opinion. The court of opinion. And you guys do what you want with your money.
I'm not disappointed.
The reason why I said I was going to get the video anyway is because that's part of my job here. I need to be informed. I mean, my computer is stocked with Bigfoot videos, and tonight I am going to go back and finish watching the Joe Rogan interview, not with Bob Gimlin. That was bullshit. But I'm going to watch the interview with. I started watching the interview with Lou Elizondo, the former head of ATIP, the Department of Defense's aerial threat identification program. So So
I
you're
don't know
right,
where.
Larry. To me, it's not disappointing. Hey, somebody did something out there. They've come back. They've course corrected the
Yeah,
misinformation that was out there. Good job for that. And now we just have to wait and see.
I am still excited about it because it doesn't matter what the footage looks like if they've got footage to go
Yeah.
along with some other investigations stuff, some evidence. I want to see it because I watch all these Bigfoot documentaries or
And
ones
and
where
and
Bigfoot
and
don't fall in love.
rest assured, when the documentary comes out, Chris and I will watch it.
Oh, of course, yes.
And if we can get some folks on from that documentary on the show to talk more
Sure.
about it, we will do that as well.
Yeah.
And then you guys can put them on the hot seat. Just remember this. Hey, what did you think when?
Was that part of a
Be funny
promotion
if we
thing
had
or
them
what?
all there. It'd be funny if we had them all there and somebody asked a question like that. But we don't. We don't ever temper what our questions are from our chat room normally, unless it's something trollish. But anyway,
No,
um,
Kaiju Ninja, no. I will not confirm that. No.
so anyway, we will be back on Sunday night with an all new Squatch-D TV. We will be. It is. You can hear the bird clock in the background. We will be back Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a back to the basics kind of night. We'll be talking about all kinds of stuff. I'm going to show you guys some really neat stuff Sunday night. Some tools that I have used to keep me in the straight and narrow, stuff that you've never seen, probably never seen before. And thanks to modern technology, we've taken some of those tools and we've updated them. So that's going to be really, really cool. And we're going to be talking about, like I said, we're getting into that season, getting close to September. We're in New York, the Squatches roam, and I'm very excited. Mid-September, I believe the 18th and 19th, but don't quote me on that because my times are all screwed up. I'll be at the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Camping Adventure. I'll be out there with people like Jay Bachochin, Eric Altman, Ken Gerhardt's going to be out there, and of course, Mike Ann, Tactical Bigfoot Research as well. So we're going to have a really good time out there, and we're going to get out at nighttime and go into places where Sasquatch have been seen. And many, many years ago, I think it was 2019, is where I got the bear thermal in that same area. There was a black bear watching us, and I remember that first time going, but we will be doing that. Will I be able to live stream from there? Probably not, because Friday night is a very busy night, and then Saturday is the thing, and then Sunday is the thing as well. And then I'll be shuffling home Sunday. And so we won't be doing a show, but we'll have a special announcement coming up real soon. I think Chris are still finalizing. This is really cool. Chris and I are finalizing. Do I have a good audio editing program that's user friendly? The best I can promise you is Audacity. Audasity. Audacity. Yep.
Oh.
That's what I use. It's probably one of the friendlier ones. I also have WavePad as well. That's a paid one. Got that a long time ago. WavePad's pretty good because you can actually make it into a spectrogram, whereas you can't do that with Audacity. So that's kind of cool about WavePad. But WavePad's relatively inexpensive. So
does that one let you measure the frequencies in megahertz?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. So
that's
you can tell if it's above or below the human range. Yeah.
WavePad. And okay. And Kaiju Ninja says he uses Audition. That's a very good one too. Being a former musician, we used to use Audacity because it was free and it does everything the professional stuff does for the most part. And now they just updated it to even more stuff, which is kind of cool. Sonic Visualizer, hey there. Oh, okay. Thank you. We'll check that one out. Kaiju Ninja. So Sunday night we'll be talking about a bunch of stuff, and I may give you guys a few free secrets that I use for research, and you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. Trust me on that. You're going to love it. It's really, in fact, the amount of Bigfoot researchers that don't know about this tool, I'm going to make your guys' life a lot easier and a lot more interesting and fun. Let me just say that.
Anytime we can get tools to make the job easier, that's great.
Right? But it's tools that you can learn from.
Yeah.
And you can do it like that instead of taking all day long.
Right.
Amazing. Amazing.
Good deal.
Oh, and Jen says hello to the office assistant. He is busy right
Jen.
now. He's busy right now.
Probably waiting for a snack.
Doing something with his tail. I'm not quite sure. He's not paying any attention to me.
Watson,
anyway.
what are you doing? Watson.
So
ready for that biscuit.
Again, Chris, do your thing before we get out of here.
Oh, well, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys. And thanks again for coming in on Wednesdays. We really appreciated that. If it's your first time watching us or being here on the show, or watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, mash the like button when you go out and share, we really appreciate it. And, we do this because of you guys. We know that you guys are the greatest audience in Bigfooting that we could ever hope for. And this you make this all possible. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. We really appreciate you.
And again, on behalf of me, thank you and welcome to all the new members. Thank you to all our community members, our actual Squatch-D TV community members. And again, if you love the show and you like what we do here, feel free to join our membership. It's only 99 cents a month at the cheapest level. Please support honest research. And that's what we'll be doing a lot of in the coming weeks. And as far as I'm concerned, we've had a great night tonight. And we will be back here Sunday night. Everybody have a good Saturday and a good Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you Sunday night. God bless. Keep on squatching, and we'll catch you all this Sunday. What am I saying next? I'm in that robot mode. Good night, folks.
We thank you for being here with us on Squatch-D TV. If you haven't taken the time yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And oh yes, hit that notification bell too. We don't want you to miss anything. If you really like our content, you should consider becoming a member. And it's really inexpensive and a great way to support not only the show, but honest Bigfoot research. Everyone have a great week. Be safe and God bless. We will see you all here next time on Squatch-D TV. Keep on squatching.